Welcome back to the deep dive. We take the research, you get the insight. Today, we're diving deep into someone truly multifaceted. The comedian, the writer, the actress, Fortune Feimster.
Yeah, and our goal here isn't just, running down a list of credits, although, wow, there are a lot. We really want to unpack the journey because there's this paradox at the heart of it.
Right. How does someone go from like a really structured, almost traditional Southern upbringing, debutante balls, academics, then veer into entertainment journalism and then become this major comedy voice, even in animation?
Exactly. It's definitely not the usual path. So the question is, how did that happen? How did that transformation from, say, a North Carolina debutante to someone starring alongside Mindy Kaling and voicing Pixar characters actually unfold?
Because the range is just huge. You look at the resume and it's the Mindy Project, a main role, then Counselor Jerry D in Pixar's Soul, which is pretty abstract, and now she's lined up for Zootopia too. That's Disney blockbuster territory.
Mm-hmm. And that kind of range, that versatility, it doesn't just appear out of thin air. What the sources really suggest is that the foundation for being able to switch between these different worlds was actually laid way back in places that seem, well, totally opposite to a comedy club.
Okay, so we need to start at the beginning then, lay that foundation.
Definitely. Let's go back to her roots. She was born Emily Fortune Feimster, July 1st, 1980, in Charlotte, North Carolina. So as we're recording this in late 2025, she's 45.
And that name, Fortune, it sounds like the perfect stage name, but it's real, right?
Totally real. It's a family name, her maternal great-grandmother's maiden name, which is pretty cool, actually. She's the youngest of 3 kids, 2 older brothers, Price and Jay. So you get that picture. Southern family, memorable name.
Okay. And she grew up mostly in Belmont, North Carolina, went to Belmont Central Elementary, Belmont Junior High. This is where that contrast you mentioned starts setting in, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because look at high school. South Point High, graduated in 98, and she was seriously into sports, like really into them. Played basketball, softball, and tennis.
Wow, a 3-sport athlete. That takes serious dedication. Time management, competitiveness.
Right. She was clearly focused, driven, not just playing for fun. But then the juxtaposition is just amazing. That same year, 1998, the year she graduates as this jock.
She's presented at the Gastonia Debutante Ball.
Can you even picture it? 1 minute, she's sweating it out on the court, maybe playing softball. The next, she's in the white dress, the gloves, doing the whole formal Southern debutante thing.
It's wild. It really speaks to an ability to navigate completely different worlds, different rules, different expectations.
It's code switching, basically.
Right.
And mastering these very specific social structures, even if maybe later she'd, poke fun at them in her comedy. It shows this adaptability, this social intelligence.
That's maybe the key right there.
Yeah.
The ability to fit into the jock world, the academic world, and the super traditional debutante scene. Those are skills, right? Skills you'd need to transition from a small town to, say, Hollywood.
Absolutely. And that focus, that discipline, it wasn't just for sports or social events. She carried it straight into college. She went to Peace College, which, it's worth noting, was an all-women's university back when she attended.
And she didn't just scrape by. She excelled. Majored in communications, kept playing sports, soccer, and tennis in college.
And wait, there's more. She was elected student body president.
Student body president, on top of the sports and the major.
And graduated summa cum laude.
Okay, hold on. Summa cum laude, student body president, college athlete.
Yeah?
This is not the profile you imagine for someone who ends up doing stand-up about, I don't know, Hooters.
Right. It shows this incredibly high level of achievement, structure, leadership. She was operating in a very organized, high-pressure environment.
And that academic success led to a really key moment. She was picked to be the student speaker at her graduation in 2002. And the main speaker that day
Was actress Emily Proctor, from CSI Miami, also a North Carolina native from Raleigh.
Ah, the connection. So they meet there.
They get acquainted, yeah. And this connection becomes like her initial roadmap after college. Because think about it. She graduates with top honors, leadership experience. What's next? Does she hit the open mic nights?
Doesn't sound like it. Not yet.
Nope. First, a bit of a breather. She lives in Spain for a year, maybe finding herself exploring. Then, 2003, she does the LA move. But her plan wasn't just wing it and hope.
It was practical. Use that connection.
Exactly. The initial goal was to become Emily Proctor's personal assistant. Secure a job, get mentored, while trying to figure out the comedy thing on the side. See, very structured thinking again.
Yeah.
The student body president making a plan.
But then there's this detour. A big one.
Huge. She connects with Proctor's neighbor, who happens to be a journalist for the Los Angeles Daily News. And this leads to a job. Not as PA, but as a journalist.
And not just for a little while. She does this for 7 years.
7 years. That's a proper career. Entertainment journalism, writing, interviewing, deadlines, the whole newsroom environment. Think about what that does for you.
Okay, yeah. Let's unpack that. 7 years of journalism. How does that feed into comedy?
Well, what does journalism demand? Getting to the point fast, finding the essential angle, writing concisely, hitting deadlines, observing people, situations critically.
Right. Boiling things down, finding the hook, the lead, cutting out the fluff. That sounds a lot like writing a good joke, doesn't it?
Exactly. It trains you to structure your thoughts, your observations, to find that core truth and deliver it effectively. It gives your writing, and maybe even your stand-up, a kind of structural backbone that pure improv might not always have.
So while she's doing this demanding day job, she's also starting to build her performance skills.
In 2005, she starts taking improv and sketch classes at the Groundlings, which is, legendary.
Oh, yeah. Huge names came out of there. It's super competitive, right? Not just a casual class.
Definitely not. It's a whole program, takes years. You have to progress through levels. She studied there for 4 years. 4 years of intense work, learning the craft.
Well, holding down the journalism job, that's commitment.
Total commitment. And after those 4 years, she gets selected for the Groundlings Sunday Company.
Ah, the Sunday Company. That's the big leagues within Groundlings, right? The feeder system for SNL, for movies, for TV writing.
Precisely. Getting into the Sunday Company is basically the industry saying, okay, you've got the chops. You're ready. It validates all that hard work.
And this intense period, learning improv, breaking into the Sunday Company, it's also happening alongside something major personally.
Yeah. Around the same time, 2005, when she's about 25, she comes out as lesbian. So you've got these two huge developments happening simultaneously. Finding her authentic personal voice and finding her professional comedic voice.
It makes sense that they'd be intertwined, developing that confidence on stage, being more herself. It probably fueled the comedy, especially since so much of her material draws on her life, that contrast between her Southern background and her identity.
Absolutely. The contradictions became the gold mine for her material. The debutante who's also gay, the Southerner in L.A.
Yeah.
It all starts coming together.
And even though she's building this career in L.A., she stays connected to her roots.
Very much so. The sources confirm she keeps homes in both L.A. and back in Belmont, North Carolina. That's not just symbolic. It feels like a deliberate choice to stay grounded, to keep accessing that part of her life and culture.
That's pretty rare in Hollywood, I think, holding on to both worlds. Okay, so the foundation is laid. The discipline, the journalism training, the Groundlings chops, finding her voice. Now, how does this translate into getting notice?
Well, the first flicker on the national radar is NBC's Last Comic Standing in 2010. She's on for 4 episodes. It's a start. Gets her name out there a bit.
But competition shows are tough. Lots of people appear, but few make the leap to something sustainable.
True. But for her, the real launchpad comes next, the Chelsea Lately era.
Ah, yes. Huge show at the time.
Massive. From 2011 to 2014, she's a regular roundtable co-host. Our sources say 158 episodes.
158 episodes. That's not just a guest spot. That's practically part of the furniture. What does that kind of regular exposure do?
It's like comedy boot camp on national TV. You're riffing on pop culture, live, nightly. You have to be sharp, funny, quick, and develop a persona that connects. It forces you to hone your timing, your angles. It made her a familiar face, comfortable in front of millions.
And you start seeing that payoff in scripted roles pretty quickly after that, right?
Yeah, 2014, she pops up in Two Broke Girls as Sherlock Mary, which sounds fun, and in Workaholics as a character named Joe. Small parts, but crucial steps. Proving she can act, deliver lines in a scene, not just comment on the news.
Showing she's more than just a panelist. And then comes the big one.
The Mindy Project. This is where everything converges, the Groundlings training, the Chelsea Lately confidence. In 2015, she joins the main cast.
As Colette Kimball-Kinney, and she stays right through the end.
Yep, seasons 4 through 6 until 2017. That's 39 episodes of the main character.
Yeah.
That's a career anchor.
Absolutely. And Colette was such a great character for her, the slightly awkward but lovable gay Southern nurse. It really let her use that blend of sweetness and sharp wit.
And being a main player in a Mindy Kaling show, those scripts are fast, smart, joke-dense. Holding her own in that ensemble cemented her as a legitimate actor, not just a comedian doing a cameo. It gave her stability, visibility.
And she uses that momentum. She doesn't just stick to one thing. She's doing other TV, too.
Oh, yeah. She balances it expertly. She plays Dougie on Life in Pieces for 7 episodes between 2016 and 2019. That's a network family sitcom. And then in 2018, she's Ruby and Champions, another NBC show, for 10 episodes.
While still keeping the stand-up going strong.
Crucially, yes, she never abandoned her roots. She gets her own episode of the Netflix series The Stand-Ups in 2017. Think of that as the appetizer.
For the main course.
Which was her big Netflix special, Sweet and Salty, released in 2020. That was huge for her. It really showcased her storytelling, drawing heavily on that Southern upbringing, the coming out story, all those contrasts we talked about.
Sweet and Salty, the title itself kind of sums up that persona, doesn't it?
Perfectly. And that special really broadened her appeal. You see it in the roles she gets afterwards in the 2020s. She plays Pam Fox on Kenan for 14 episodes, 2021-2022, network sitcom again.
But then a complete genre jump. F.U. Bar.
Right. The Netflix action comedy series with Arnold Schwarzenegger, she plays Ruth, or Rue, across 16 episodes from 2023, looks like extending into 2025.
Going from Kenan to a big budget action show with Arnold, that's range. Studios have to trust you can handle both the comedy and, well, the action environment.
It shows incredible versatility and marketability. She can fit into a family sitcom and a spy thriller spoof. Plus, she makes these interesting targeted appearances, too.
Like the L Word reboot.
Yeah, the L Word. Yeah. Generation Q played Heather for 3 episodes, 2019-2020. And then, totally different vibe, she turns up as a judge on Is It Cake in 2022, leveraging that mainstream appeal.
She's just everywhere. Which leads us nicely into another huge part of her career, maybe one that uses her voice in a totally different way.
The film work, and especially the animation.
Right. Before the animation really took off, she had some live-action film roles. Office Christmas Party in 2016, The Happy Time Murders in 2018.
Fun parts, but the animation work is where you see this next level of reach, becoming part of these massive global franchises. And the benchmark has to be Pixar.
Soul, 2020. Voice and counselor Jerry D.
Getting cast in a Pixar film is like the gold seal of approval for voice acting, isn't it? Especially a role like Counselor Jerry D representing this abstract concept. It means your voice has warmth, authority, recognition, but also flexibility.
Yeah, Counselor Jerry D needed that perfect blend of calming and slightly bureaucratic. It's amazing how much character she conveyed just with her voice, playing basically a line drawing. It's a different skill set entirely.
Totally different. Requires pure vocal performance imagination. And once you're in that Disney Pixar world, other doors open.
Like more big animated movies.
Exactly. We've got upcoming projects showing her strength in family entertainment. She's voicing Kitty Fridge in Gabby's Dollhouse, the movie. That's out in 2025. And then there's a role, we don't know which character yet, in Paw Patrol, the Dino movie for 2026.
Okay, Gabby's Dollhouse, Paw Patrol. She's definitely cornering the market on beloved kids franchises. But the really huge one?
Is Zootopia 2. Confirmed. She's voicing a character named Nibbles Maplestick. That film is in production, slated for 2025.
Wow, being part of the Zootopia sequel, that's massive. That guarantees visibility for years, across generations. The same person telling jokes on Netflix specials is now a key voice in one of Disney's biggest modern hits.
It speaks volumes about the trust studios have in her broad appeal. And don't forget the live-action comedy she sprinkled in during the 2020s, too. Often stealing scenes.
Oh, yeah, like the fairy gay mother in Friendsgiving, hilarious.
And Pinky and Barb and Star, good at Vista Del Mar in 2021.
Barb and Star, she was perfect in that kind of quirky, specific comedy.
Absolutely nailed it, playing that slightly awkward friend. Brilliant physical comedy and deadpan delivery. Then there was Gene the Paramedic in Yes Day, also 2021, and Coach Kim in Family Switch. Just last year, 2023.
It's just relentless. And on top of the movies, she's doing a ton of recurring voice work on animated TV shows, too, both kids stuff and adult animation.
The workload is incredible when you list it out. For younger audiences, she was Ava on Summer Camp Island for 25 episodes, right up to 2023. And Laura Mercer on Craig of the Creek for 7 episodes over several years. Warm, character-driven stuff.
But then you flip the switch.
And she's doing adult animation. Brenda in Bless the Hearts for 26 episodes, and more recently, Olive in the Velma series for 15 episodes.
Okay, Summer Camp Island to Velma, that's a serious tonal shift. Gentle fantasy versus edgy, adult meta humor.
It requires totally different vocal performance, different timing, shows the depth of that groundlings training maybe, that ability to just embody completely different characters through voice alone. Her versatility isn't just genre, it's performance style.
Speaking of voice, we have to talk about the purely audio side of her career, too. Podcasting, radio. She's built a whole other platform there.
It actually started with radio, interestingly. Back in July 2019, she launched What a Joke with Papa and Fortune with Tom Papa.
Oh, I remember that on Sirius XM.
Yeah, and it was a big deal because it was the first live show on the Netflix is a joke channel. That's a major partnership, positioning her right at the center of the established comedy scene via Netflix and SiriusXM.
And then she branches into podcasting more directly.
She does. She has her own podcast, Sincerely Fortune, which is much more personal, conversational, lets her connect directly with fans.
And she's part of that other podcast too, Handsome.
Yes. Co-hosting Handsome with Tig Notaro and Mary Martin. I mean, talk about a comedy power trio. Being in that company just shows her standing among her peers.
Definitely. And looking at her guest appearances, she's everywhere. People clearly want to talk to her.
The list is insane. It cuts across all sorts of genres. The Joe Rogan Experience, episode 1440, reaching that huge audience. Anna Faris is Unqualified. Political comedy like Love It or Leave It. Multiple times on Bertcast, comedy bang, bang.
She's clearly a great guest, reliable, funny, engaging.
And brings depth, too. Look at some of the episode titles where she's guested. On the Sporkful the Food podcast, the title was You Can't Hate Yourself Constantly, says comic Fortune Feimster. That tells you she's bringing more than just jokes.
And the Glennon Doyle one.
Oh, yeah, on We Can Do Hard Things. The title was just perfect. Fortune Feimster, a queer debutante, walks into a Hooters.
That's basically her entire story in one title, isn't it?
It is. It captures the collision of worlds, the identity, the humor. Her life is her material, and podcasting is the perfect medium for her to share that authentic story.
Okay, before we wrap this all up, we should touch on the personal side during this period of massive career growth. Her relationship was often part of her public story, part of her comedy.
Right. She started dating Jacquelyn Smith, who's a teacher, back in 2016. This is right when Mindy Project is really taking off for her.
They got engaged in 2018, married in 2020.
Yep, married October 23, 2020, in a small ceremony. So that relationship really spanned her biggest breakout years, becoming a major TV and voice actor.
But there's been a recent update on that front, hasn't there?
Sadly, yes. Our sources confirm they released a joint statement just recently, June 2nd, 2025, announcing they've made the difficult decision to divorce.
That's tough. It's a reminder, isn't it, that even with huge career success, life happens. And that relationship was a big part of her narrative for fans for nearly a decade.
It really was. So it marks an end of one chapter personally, just as these huge new professional chapters like Zootopia 2 are opening up.
Okay, so let's try and pull this all together. We've gone from Belmont debutante/student body president
through 7 years of journalism, 4 years at Groundlings, hitting the Sunday Company.
to the Chelsea Lately Roundtable, main cast on Mindy Project, Sweet and Salty Special.
And now voicing characters for Pixar, Disney, Netflix, hosting podcasts, starring in action comedies. It's a lot.
What's the common thread? What's the key takeaway from this deep dive?
I think it's clear her success isn't just about being funny. It's built on this really unusual foundation of, extreme discipline. The sports, the academics, summa cum laude, president that's serious rigor.
Fused with the structure of journalism, the writing skills, the observation.
And then pouring all that into the creative chaos and performance demands of the Groundlings. The result is someone who's just incredibly versatile. She can handle tightly written network sitcoms, big budget action, nuanced voice work, and personal stand-up storytelling.
She's like a quadruple threat.
Yeah.
Writer, actor, stand-up voice artist. And studios trust her across all these different arenas, family, adult, streaming, network. That speaks to professionalism, reliability, traits maybe honed way back in college and the newsroom.
I think so. Which brings us to a final thought for you, the listener, to kind of chew on. We've seen this blend of comedic edge and mainstream appeal, this underlying discipline.
So think about managing a career like hers today. It's multi-platform, right? Podcasts, tours, film shoots, TV series. It's complex.
Now, consider her background. Not just the comedy training, but being student body president, graduating summa cum laude. Does that early experience in leadership, in navigating structured institutions, actually inform how she makes creative and business decisions today?
Does that summa cum laude graduate and student leader manage her production company or negotiate deals differently than someone who only came up through comedy clubs? It's an interesting idea, isn't it? How that early structure might enable her sustained success and adaptability in the very unstructured world of entertainment.
Yeah, maybe the most rigid parts of her past are exactly what gave her the foundation for the incredible creative freedom she has now. Something to ponder next time you hear her voice pop up, whether it's Counselor Jerry D or Nibbles Maple Stick.
Absolutely. That's all we have time for on this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.